All right, we're starting a new chapter, chapter 7, where we're going to talk about roots. So the reverse operation of squaring a number is finding the root of a number. For example, the square root, and this is actually, if you're squaring a number, this would be the square root specifically. So the square root of 25 is 5, or notation would be the square root of 25, because 5 squared is 25. The square root of 25 is also negative 5, because negative 5 all squared is 25. The square root of 1/4 is 1/2, because 1/2 all squared is 1/4. So here's what we're getting at. In general, a number b is a square root of a, meaning that the square root of a has this answer b if b squared equals a. Now notice, both 5 and negative 5 are square roots of 25. The symbol, as we know it, denotes the positive or principal square root of a number. The symbol with a negative sign in front of it denotes the negative square root. This symbol is called a radical, and the expression within or under the radical sign is called the radicand. An expression containing a radical is called a radical expression. So now we're going to practice finding some square roots. So the square root of 36 would be what number squared? So we would say 6, because 6 times 6 is 36. 2 is negative square root of 81, so this is looking for what number squared would be 81. 9, and the negative is outside, so it's just a tag along, so this would be negative 9. This is take the square root of both parts, so 3/10, because 3 times 3 is 9, and 10 times 10 is 100. Square root of 0 is 0. And when we get to 5, we are looking at taking the square root of negative 4. Well, that's asking us what number squared would equal negative 4. Well, no number, because when you square something, it doesn't end up negative. So this is no real answer. There is no value on our number line that you can have for the square root of a negative. A further discussion of question 5. In general, a square root of a negative number is not a real number. All right? So now chapter 7 is going to challenge us to look at other kind of roots also. So we're going to move now to finding cube roots. So that means that this radical symbol will have a 3 out in front of it, so we know it's cube root. So the cube root of 8, the notation would look like this, is 2, because 2 cubed is 8. If you take 2 times itself 3 times, you get 8. Now the 3 has a name. The 3 is called the index of the radical, and it tells you what root you are taking. So if we're looking for a cube root, I'm looking for what number would I multiply with itself 3 times. So I would say 3. Here this is cube root of 1 over 125, which is 1 over 5. Now here we see we have a cube root of a negative. And we need to ask ourselves, is that different than the square root of a negative? Well, this is asking what number cubed would end up negative 64. Well, that's different. If you cube a number, it could be negative. So our answer here is negative 4, because negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 is negative 64. A further discussion of question 3. The cube root of a negative number is a real number. In general, the cube root of a negative number is a negative number.